been a year of tragedy and trauma across the Middle East. CBS News 24/7 continues our coverage commemorating the day Hamas terrorists attacked Israel, sparking a war that rages on today. That day, more than 1,200 people lost their lives when Hamas launched that attack, in part at a Nova Music Film Festival 1 year ago. An estimated 100 people still held hostage in Gaza, their families putting pressure on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to negotiate a ceasefire and safely bring those hostages home. Meanwhile, President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden held a private candlelighting ceremony to honor all of the lives lost during the war. According to the Gaza Health Ministry, more than 40,000 people have been killed in Gaza. CBS News foreign correspondent Chris Livesay is on the ground in Tel Aviv right now, and we understand, as we talk to you live, that you had to actually duck for cover just before going live for some of your earlier reports. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's right, Reed. Just moments before this event began, this memorial here in Tel Aviv, remembering those horrific events of October 7th, we started getting reports that there was a ballistic missile headed right towards Tel Aviv. According to Israeli news sources, they were saying it was fired by Iranian-backed Houthi militants in Yemen, who have already fired several ballistic missiles at Israel in the past month. So we were told to hit the deck and duck for cover, and we were on the ground for about 10 minutes waiting to get the all clear, and as we were on the ground, we could see white streaks through the sky of Tel Aviv and what appeared to be that missile being intercepted by Israel's missile defenses. And so just a few minutes later, everything was back to normal. Just sadly, another normal day, a regular day here in Tel Aviv, specifically just about a week after Iran launched that barrage of 180 ballistic missiles here in Tel Aviv. This is par for the course in today's Middle East.
And for our viewers who are hearing the music in the background, that is Chris coming to us live from an area where tributes are happening today. So that song right there is a part of that. Let's talk about the families of hostages that continue bringing attention to their loved ones being held in Gaza. How are they feeling about the efforts to stop the war? Do they feel like there's any movement?
Yeah, a lot of those families are here at this memorial in Tel Aviv, and a lot of this music is, just an expression of the anguish they feel for not just those who have died, but the about approximately 100 hostages who are still being held in Hamas captivity. This event was organized by the families, by volunteers, and that was a very deliberate decision not to have anything to do with the government, whom they blame for getting Israel here to begin with. They blame them for that breach in security and intelligence, and what they say was a breach in leadership that allowed Hamas to attack and take all of those hostages and kill all of those people 1 year ago today.
All right, we do have some news to break right now on the stream. We're understanding that Israel is going to be launching an offensive on some of the beaches in southern Lebanon. The word right now is for people to stay off of those beaches. So obviously sort of an escalation of things. There are fears about this extending well beyond Israel's borders right now. What are we learning there?
Well, as you just said, it's clearly gone beyond Israel's borders, and that is an extension of this, what Israel called a limited ground offensive, which it launched at the beginning of last week. Clearly, the word limited is in the eye of the beholder, and that was already an extension of an expanding air offensive that we witnessed unfolding, just airstrike after airstrike, which started with Israel tackling Hezbollah's rocket launchers that it's been using for the past year to wreak havoc across Israel's north. They've already displaced approximately 70,000 Israelis, forced to flee from their homes. So Israel said it was trying to reclaim this area, make it safe for those tens of thousands of Israelis to go home. And in order to do that, they also had to strike Hezbollah's military leadership, they said, which they did. They also struck the leader of Hezbollah himself, Hassan Nasrallah. It was just a completely unprecedented attack on Beirut. No one ever thought that they would manage to get the leader of Hezbollah himself. And then you'll recall weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, ago, that was when those pagers and walkie-talkies started exploding in the hands of Hamas militants, and that is really what began this escalation, this turning up of the temperature of Israel's war with Hezbollah, which had been a sort of low-temperature exchange of rockets and missiles over the past year. Remember, ever since October 7th, when Hamas flooded the border with Israel and launched those gruesome attacks and kidnappings, Hezbollah was very quick to pile on and to join in with its rocket strikes in the north in a show of allegiance, not just with Hamas, but also to Iran, which is the backer of both Hezbollah and Hamas. So what we're seeing today, as you just described, Reed, is an extension of that, and also just a sign that Israel is not worried about fighting a multi-front war. If anything, it's showing that it doesn't want to play defense anymore. It also wants to play offense.
Chris Livesay live from an event where people are making sure the world never forgets what happened 1 year ago today, live from Tel Aviv. We appreciate you, Chris. Thank you so much.